Grateful, yes I am. So should you be true. Grateful every time. Yes, we should be now. Say, because life is what you make it here today, and what we really need to say. Grateful every time, cause life is what we make.
My husband, when he beats, he doesn't just beat, he punches and he whacks. This man was whacking me with a stick. Didn't care, I fell into a cut. He was there whacking with a stick. One of my two kids were crying and looked at this man, crying, mommy, mommy, daddy, 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 stop hitting mommy, daddy, stop hitting mommy. He went on whacking me.
Hello and welcome to our international audience. My name is Peter Ashley, and today on Five Eyes I'll be speaking with Felicity Okolo, domestic violence eradication coach and expert. Welcome, Felicity.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Now, Felicity, tell us a little bit about yourself and your story.
As mentioned, my name is Felicity Okolo. I'm a coach, I'm a speaker and author of these two lovely books here. This one is called It Is My Life and I'm in Charge, which is what my personal experience of how I coped, survived and conquered domestic violence, which I'll tell you a lot more about today. And this other book called Who Stole My Power and the Easy Way to Reclaim It, which is about we as super beings playing small. So this book shows you how to reclaim your power, to really play as the being you really are, to excel in life. So that's what I do, and as a speaker, I speak to organizations, to women's groups in churches, to the community, empowering people to develop themselves and excel in life, create a life they truly want. As a coach, I help women, victims and survivors of domestic violence to create a life they truly want and build a life they really want. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
What do you do as a domestic violence eradication coach and expert?
As a domestic violence eradication coach and expert, what I do is work with different groups of people to see, for me, I really believe domestic violence should be eradicated. The statistics we have right now in the UK, in America, the rest of the world is just way too high, and domestic violence is actually increasing. In the UK here is 2 women are killed every week, domestic violence, by their partners, by the male partners, and 10 women commit suicide. So actually in a week we have 12 deaths due to domestic violence. So that is not nice being based in the UK, that's just not good at all. And it's increasing. 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Now men are beginning to report domestic violence. So 1 in 5 men will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. It is not good, and it keeps increasing. In the US, we have 3 women get killed every day from domestic violence. That is high. So there's so many organizations doing so much, but why do we have this increase? So now my work, what I do now is like with women, I show them, because women especially have to take charge, have to take responsibility, because those, especially those who do not report the crime against them, the abuse against them, they are almost, I would say, directly or indirectly giving these abusers the power to go on abusing them, to even kill them, to actually move on to the next woman and abuse her. So it's teaching them how, showing them how they can recover the energy, the strength again, the self-esteem and the confidence to actually want to do the right thing. Social responsibility for themselves to protect themselves and their children and the other women that the man may possibly go out with or marry or live with. Teach them the strategies. For those who come to my classes, how I coped, how to survive and how to conquer domestic violence and how to prevent domestic violence in the future. For organizations, what I do is I speak to them about the effects of domestic violence on the business, because whether you like it or not, everyone is affected by domestic violence. So until they understand the impact it has on the business and on the staff, they wouldn't know how to go about eradicating or supporting their staff and protecting the business. So talk to them, put a plan in place, domestic violence policy, if they don't have any, put that in place. Speak to them about warning signs to look out from their staff, such as, do they avoid going home when like work is over? People like just hang around for no apparent reason. Some people don't, because they're afraid of going home. What home will be? What will happen today? What happened yesterday might happen today again. Overproductivity sometimes is due to that, because they just want to take all the energy they should spend with their family at home, put it into work, and that they quickly burn out. Under productivity as well. So show them signs to look out in the employees, and how to support them and how they can help them, because a lot of these people, both men and women, the workplace is the safest place they actually have. And to make sure they are safe while at work, and they're not followed. If they have really much troubles from their partners at work, make sure they're not harassed. They know how to support them better and make sure they produce. And these people, the staff or employees, will feel confident to come to work, that they have good support unit at work from their colleagues or from the managers and everybody else around them. So that's on that with the organization. With churches, when I speak, because a lot of women run to churches when they have problems at home. Because churches, as we know, most of the congregation are women. So a lot of them go there, just to get solace, really, to find help with God when nobody else can help them. Some of them, the pastors don't even really help them. So when I go to speak to those churches, is to empower these women, to encourage them that I tell my story. I know some churches don't approve of talking about domestic violence. So when I tell my story, these women find their strength again. They feel inspired that if this woman can go through domestic violence and become who she is today, and she's a Christian, absolutely a Christian, I don't believe that God wants anybody to suffer or remain in an abusive situation and be killed. Because for me, any religion that approves of human suffering should be banished. It should be scrapped, really.
Your book, It Is My Life and I Am in Charge. What inspired you to write your book?
I've just mentioned my story. I feel that this happened to me so that others don't have to suffer.
All right, you were a victim of domestic violence.
I was a victim of domestic violence, and I thought to myself, I don't think I went through this for myself, because I'm grateful that I'm a very strong person. I'm mentally strong, I'm emotionally strong. Not many women are that strong, because I lived with my abuser for 4.5 years. It was an arranged marriage, which I didn't want, all the way from Nigeria and Africa, came to the UK, joined my ex-husband, the abuser. From the time I got to the UK, he quickly isolated me. I wasn't allowed to have friends, I wasn't allowed to go to church, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere, I wasn't allowed to go to college, I wasn't allowed to do anything without his without his express permission. I'm sorry, his express permission was his right word. And I have to be implicitly obedient to him, his exact words. So, a religious girl who grew up in the church, not being able to go to church anymore, it's like madness. I could not live. And then in a strange country, it was winter in the UK. It was cold. I was pregnant. I came to the country. I didn't know what else to do. So when he was out, which was most of the time he was out working, I was at home. All I could do was sleep. Within few weeks of coming to England, he began name calling. The abuse just began. From name calling, had my baby 3 months later. The abuse started, physical abuse began. 3 months' time, it was so bad that I felt I was going to die. We had lodgers in the property who rescued me. After that incident, I called up my parents in Nigeria. I told them everything about this man, that he lied to me. Several lies, that he apparently he was married before. He never told us about that. He married me for the wrong reasons, not because he loved me, because he wanted to save his property. All these lies just came out, and I felt trapped. Now I have a child. What am I going to do? I'm a young Catholic girl. Will I leave the man I married? Will I go on or wait for his wedding promises, which he told me he wouldn't have to fulfill? He doesn't have to fulfill it because not all promises you make to a woman before you marry them, you have to fulfill. I felt kind of trapped. So my parents wanted me to come home, but I felt that for my father to be so quick in asking me to come back home, I didn't think he was serious. I thought he wanted to use reverse psychology on me. So I said, okay, I'll give it one more go. So I stayed. Before I knew it, second pregnancy, second baby arrived. Did the condition get worse or better? Definitely worse. It just went downhill. And after the second baby, I felt that this relationship would not work. So I decided I'm going to do exactly what I want to do, because if I'm obeying all the rules, I'm not getting food in the house because we argued, I don't have any income, I'm not getting treated right, I'm not getting respected, my kids don't get fed properly. What am I in this house for? I had fear of immigration because I had 6 months visa to join him in the UK.
Yeah.
6 months visa after 2-3 years was long expired.
Yeah.
And he knew that was like kind of hold on me. But after 3 years, I said to God, you know, please, I need to get out of here. Before I knew it, I was pregnant again, the third baby. So I had to stay. By now I was suicidal. Luckily, when I left the house one day to commit suicide, I called the Samaritans from the payphone, and they advised me not to. They told me all the good reason why I shouldn't. That held me back for that period until the baby arrived. I had the baby, and then a few months after the baby was born, 3 months after that, my ex beat me up so badly again. This time, I already known what domestic violence was about, because before I didn't know that there was anything called domestic violence. I didn't know it had a name until I watched Oprah after the second pregnancy. I said, okay, oh my God, that this happens outside black people's home or outside people from Africa. I thought it was a black man from Africa in the UK behaving badly to his wife. I didn't know it happened in the UK, it happened in America, it happens everywhere. And it had a name called domestic violence. Oh my God. And I learned that the police could help me. So I felt now that I know this is wrong, even though I knew it was wrong, but I knew the law can help me.
Yeah.
So once he did that, I reported, called the police, and he was taken to court, got an injunction against him. Once the 6 weeks injunction expired, he began threatening me again. So one night, he threatened to kill me. I just left. I ran out of the house and he chased me. That was how I left that marriage. 2 days later, I went back with the police to pick up my children. I must say to any woman, when dealing with an abusive man, never, ever go to approach him on your run. If you have belongings in the house, if you have children, whatever you have in the house, never, ever go back to the house, to the property, to pick it on your run, because you could get killed. A lot of women have been killed going back to pick up the properties. So I went back with the police to pick up my children and a few bags, and that was how we left. Felicity Okolo, I'm the author of It Is My Life and I'm in Charge, a book about my personal experience of how I survived, coped, and conquered domestic violence. The book is available through my website, felicityokolo.com, also from Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and all good bookshops. Get your copy now to be inspired and motivated to take charge of your life.
Grateful, yes I am. So should you be too. Grateful every time. Yes, we should be now. Say, because life is what you make it here today, and what we really need to say. Grateful every time, cause life is what we make it here today, what we really need to say. Grateful every time, yeah. What's the difference between the beggar in the streets and a working citizen? Tell me.